Antagonists. Antagonists can be divided into competitive and non-competitive antagonists. Bind to the receptor in uncompetitive or reversible function, their action could be overcome by increasing the dosage of agonist. We call it competitive or reversible antagonist. Some antagonists bind very tightly to the receptor site in an irreversible and cannot be displaced by increasing the agonist concentration. We call it non-competitive or irreversible antagonist. Competitive antagonists, there are two characteristics. One, the concentration effector of agonist is shifted right to a higher concentration with preservation of maximal effect. It means in the presence of competitive antagonists, to produce a given effect, the concentration of the agonist should be increased, but they could reach the maximal effect, because by increasing the concentration of agonist, blockade induced by an antagonist can be surmounted. Competitive antagonists have two characteristics. One, agonist concentration effector produced by a competitive antagonist is shifted to the right. 2. With no change in maximal response. Non-competitive antagonists also have two characteristics. One, agonist concentration effector produced by a non-competitive antagonist is shifted to the right. 2. With depression in the maximal response. Look at this graph. B is a non-competitive antagonist. It makes the agonist dose response curve shift to the right. The maximal response depressed. Look at this graph. A is competitive antagonist. It made the agonist of concentration effect curve shift to the right with no change in maximal response. B is non-competitive antagonist. It made the agonist concentration effect curve shift to the right with a depression in the maximal response. Allosteric modulator. Some drugs, often called allosteric modulators, bind to a separate site on the receptor protein and alter receptor function without inactivating the receptor. It can either inhibit response or potential response. Look at this graph. A is competitive antagonist. It binds to a receptor in a competitive or reversible fashion. Its action could be overcome by increasing the dosage of agonist. B is non-competitive antagonist. It binds to the receptor very tight and in an irreversible way. Its action cannot be displayed by increasing the agonist concentration. C and D is allosteric modulator. It binds to a separate site on the receptor protein and alter receptor function without inactivating the receptor. They could either inhibit response or potential response.